This is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? So, in today's ASMR football video, we're going to be taking a look at the Nations League to begin with. And then we're also going to be looking at the World Cup qualifiers in South America and Asia. And if I've got time, we'll briefly look at the Concacaf Nations League as well, but I don't know if we've got time for that today, we'll see. Okay, lots of talking points. Let's start off with Nations League A, where we saw some interesting results. Okay, so let's take a look at the groups to begin with. We got Portugal, as I suspected, in first place. Croatia, Poland, and then Scotland. Scotland got their first point. We'll take a look at that in a second. And Poland have got an additional point in this particular window. And in Group 2, Italy still top. France second, Belgium third, Israel fourth. That's how I was expecting the group to look after the second round of matches. And then Group 3, a little bit of a surprise. Germany, Netherlands, then Hungary and Bosnia. But the difference between Netherlands and Hungary on points, at least, not in the head-to-head, is very, very close. And lastly then, Spain, Denmark, Serbia, Switzerland. Switzerland looking a little better, and Spain looking their dominant selves. Oops. Okay, let's look at the matches then. So we had Thursday's matches. France scoring 4 away to Israel. Camavinga, Nkunku, Guendouzi and Bakula with the goals. Of course, Mbappe-less. What do they have up front then? Kolomwani and Nkunku Dembele. And Olise just behind. Incredible squad France have got, haven't they? Okay, and then this was an interesting match. I watched a little bit of this. I was flicking between the different matches. And Italy were 2-0 up. So Cambiaso in the first minute in Retegui in the 24th. And then Lorenzo Pellegrini, who's having a torrid time at club level. I'm a Romanista, so looking at the Reddit, people are not happy with Pellegrini. I'm not either. I'm really shocked that he's the only starter in the national team from Roma, to be honest, but there we go. Got sent off. I think, having seen it a couple of times, I think it was the right decision, but I was a little bit shocked at first, but then when I saw the replays, I never know. It must be so hard to be a referee, right? How do they see those things in real time? I saw it on a camera, and until it was slowed down, I didn't think anything of it, which is a straight red. And then Belgium really sort of got into the game, and Maxime de Kuiper and Leandro Trossard scored the 2 goals. I thought they were going to win it in the end. So I think that Italy will think of that as a 2 points lost, really, but Belgium will be really happy with that, coming back into a match that they were, miles apart from. Okay, to a 10-man team, but still sometimes it's harder when they go down to 10 men. Bosnia, I think, did themselves really proud in this match. I said before the campaign started I was a little bit worried that Bosnia would be completely out of their depth at this level. So the fact that they kept it tight against a very good German team, possibly one of the teams at the minute that's looking like it's going to go all the way. Maybe at the minute for me it's Spain, Portugal, Germany. Who else? Maybe just them at the second. Everybody else has had fallible campaigns, even the French, the Italians. So yeah, I think it's going to be probably at this point in time in the final between Germany, Spain, and who else did I say? Portugal. Dennis Undav scoring 2, and Dzeko, yes, he's still going. He's still playing really well in the Turkish league, actually. Dennis Undav could have had a hat-trick by the looks of it. I must admit I didn't watch much of this match, but yeah, as expected, all of the possession to Germany. I forgot about this result. 1-1 between Hungary and Netherlands. I mean, what was the score? 5-2. Oh, I got it mixed up. I thought this is the first time they've faced Hungary. Okay. So 1-1, Shalai with the goal originally for Hungary, and then the Netherlands. When did they have the sending off? Oh yes, Van Dijk. He wasn't happy, I heard, but I haven't seen what happened. And then, despite that, as I said, doesn't matter that they're down to 10 men. Denzel Dumfries with the equaliser in the 83rd minute. So, you know, it's always difficult when you go to the Puskás Arena. It's a very tricky place to play, so with 10 men, you know, I think the Dutch did really well to get back into the match. Okay, next up, Scotland and Croatia. So Scotland were winning through Christie, but then Matanovic and then afterwards Kramaric scoring the winner. Luka Modric, obviously man of the match. Ivan Perisic with them an assist for the first goal. So yeah, difficult. Oh yeah, and there was that palaver at the end of the match, so Che Adams scored, but then there was a really lengthy VAR call, and then it was ruled off. So personally, if that were my team in my country, thinking that you got a draw away to Croatia in the final throws of the match and then having it dashed, you just be absolutely distraught. So my thoughts go out to the Scottish supporters. This horrible situation, but signs of improvement, which we'll see they build upon in a second. Yeah, mere matter of margins courtesy of VAR. So they thought they picked up their first points there, and it wasn't to be. And Poland 1, Portugal 3. So as I said, Portugal probably one of the strongest teams at the moment. Silva, Ronaldo and an own goal from Bednarek at the end to cancel out Zielinski's goal. And, you know, Portugal strong even away from home, still scoring lots of goals. Ronaldo still scoring, no issues for Portugal at all. And Serbia beating Switzerland, which 2-0. I was a little bit shocked at. Own goal from Elvedi on the stroke of half-time, and Mitrovic towards the end. Missed penalty from Braille and Bolo as well, just to make it all the worse. So that's a shame for Switzerland. They still haven't really got into this particular campaign, have they? They are very slow starters. And then a gallant effort from a much improved Denmark team. Thubimendi with the only goal of the match. This look is probably 61% possession, 25 shots on goal compared to 3. Expected goals 0.1. What can you do away to Spain? This is scary. Oh, in Murcia. I used to live there. That stadium was built after I moved back home, though. Yeah. So Spain, as I said, definitely will, you know, they are European champions. Definitely one of the strongest teams nigh on in the world, if not just in Europe. Okay, so then some rematches then. So we see a Belgium team who wanted to do better than last time, and they couldn't, unfortunately. Openda with 1 goal, but Kolomwani with 2. A red card. Where'd the red card come? Oh yeah, there it is. Chouameni getting a second yellow. It's always quite tight between them, but Belgium just can't seem to get past their neighbours, can they? And Hungary beating Bosnia. I think that's probably Bosnia sealed now to be relegated. I think a home to Hungary, that I said in the preview video that I did before this weekend's rounds of matches, that match was essential to decide who's going to come third and who's going to come fourth in this group, and actually puts Hungary in a very good platform to perhaps try and challenge the Netherlands for second place. So Szoboszlai with the 2 goals. Germany narrowly beating the Netherlands. I said it would probably be a draw, and it was close. Offside goal from Leveling, who then scored later on in the 64th minute. And no red cards, surprisingly. And it's pretty even, except for shots. Definitely not enough shots on target, or at all, in fact, from the Netherlands. So they'll be quite disappointed about that. I think they would have at least wanted a draw. And then trying to get back on track. Italy, 4-1 against Israel. Retegui with a penalty, Di Lorenzo with 2, and Frattesi, who always comes up with a goal from midfield, getting the 4 goals for Italy at home there. So they are back to the top of the table. And a much improved performance from Poland. Oh, 10-man Croatia. I didn't realise they had someone sent off. Oh yes, I did. I saw that. I turned onto this match in the latter stages of it. And so Zielinski scored again. Such a good player. And then Sosen Sucic scored. And then a third goal. So was that 7 minutes? My math is terrible. 7 minutes, and then Baturina scored as well. So 3-1. Then, much maligned in Rome, Nikola Zalewski with the 2nd goal, and then Szymanski with the 3rd goal. And then what happened was there was a ball played over the top. Lewandowski was running onto it. Levakovic cleared the ball first, and then as he sort of came back down, his studs were up on the above the knee of Lewandowski. And yeah, it was a long time for VAR to decide, but I think I've seen them given and I've seen them not. By the letter of the law, if an outfield player had done that, there would be an immediate red card. And I think the argument was that he cleared the ball first and then followed through. But I don't know if because of the way that his foot was, I don't think he could have done anything. But I think some of you will have contrasting opinions. It'll be interesting to hear your view, because when I saw it on the replay for VAR, I was like, they're not going to give that. I thought they probably, by the letter of the law, should. But I could list a couple of arguments why they shouldn't. A, he was the goalkeeper. B, he got the ball first. C, he didn't deliberately follow through. He's just the way that his leg moved. He couldn't have done anything about it. Particularly, a goalkeeper has to hit the ball particularly hard to make it all the way up into the air and up down the field. That he's not like kicking it to the side or anything. So we had to put a lot of power into it. So yeah, I'll be interested to hear what you think about that. But much improved from Poland, which I think, Scotland may have sealed the 3rd place for them. Despite that, however, Scotland, with another sterling performance against Portugal, should have got the point last time out in Portugal. Did get it this time, so chuffed for them. Obviously, 70% possession, 14 shots on goal. My brother did say the last time that they played, he said if one team can stop Portugal, it's probably someone like Scotland. And he's right, they did manage to get a point against them, so obviously not great to watch. But at the end of the day, it's about trying to get points in this particular competition, isn't it? So, and particularly with such a depleted squad, looking Craig Gordon, man of the match, the goalkeeper, and got off the mark. So I'm really pleased with them because they've had so many misses, near misses. And then last 2, Spain against Serbia, 3-0. And as I said in the preview video, when things aren't going Serbia's way, they get a red card. So they're missed penalty. So they're 3-0 down. No, 2-0 down at this point. And then Pavlovic just gets a straight red. I haven't seen the instant, but I'm not shocked when, 30 shots against 3, 67% possession against 33. It is on form. I think if the Serbs could just manage that out of their behaviour and just try and stay in matches, they do so much better. But there comes a certain point in a match where they feel it's not going their way, and then there's just a red card, and it just, I don't know what to do to coach that out of them, because then the match is definitely over. Whereas I keep going on about the fact that they have the talent to get back into any match at all, really. So, yeah. And then Switzerland finally get a point. They were winning, actually, at one point. Freuler and Amdouni, Isaacson and then Eriksson on the 69th minute to equalise for Denmark. So just 1 point for Switzerland. It does look at this point as if it's going to be really tough not to go down, but maybe in the head-to-head with Serbia. I think that's coming up in the next window, isn't it? So look at matches. So they got Serbia next. If they don't win that, then they're down, because then they got Spain away. Okay, let's look at those matches actually and do a little prediction. So Belgium, Italy, I'd say Italy for the win, France, Israel, France, Spain, Denmark, Spain, Portugal, Poland, Portugal, Scotland, Croatia. Ooh, come on Scotland, try and get a result there. Switzerland, Serbia, got to go for a Swiss win, otherwise they're down. It's their big match of the entire group stage. Germany to win against Bosnia. I think the Dutch to squeeze a win against Hungary and then solidify second place. Belgium to beat Israel. Oh gosh. Italy to beat France. Oh. Portugal to beat Croatia. Poland to beat Scotland. Sorry, Scotland. Serbia, Denmark. Denmark to get a result. Not sure, win or draw. And then Spain to win against Switzerland. Dutch to win in Bosnia and Germany draw out in Hungary. If they win that, that means that they've won 5 and drawn just 1 at that stage, so they're my favourites with Spain for the final. Okay, should we do Group B? There's a little picture of Thomas Tuchel, the new England manager there. I do have quite a few opinions about that, but maybe I'll talk about them in a different video. In brief, I'm not a fan. I know loads of you are. I think he'll do really, really well at first for England, and he might even win something soon, like the World Cup or the next European Championship. No, I don't think he'll make it that far. Because the thing with Thomas Tuchel is that after the initial, he's a bit of a Jose Mourinho, after the first year of like instant success and all the plaudits and all the clapping and oh yeah, you're doing really well, then it starts to go wrong, and all of a sudden there's like this implosion, and he starts like ranting at press conferences, and yeah, I think it's going to go horribly wrong quite quickly. So that's my in a sort of nutshell opinion on Thomas Tuchel. Okay, let me know in the comment section if you completely disagree with me. Lots of Chelsea fans watching this channel, so you let me know. Okay, Group B. Some of these groups, as I said, are very, very tight now. So let's take a look. Czechia are now top from being third. Georgia, Albania, and then Ukraine, but Ukraine are only a win away from top spot, so crazy group. I did say it was going to be very, very tight. So unfortunate, whoever gets relegated from that group, none of them should be in Group C. We'll be talking about this, but Greece, so impressive, unbeaten, 4 wins out of 4, top of the group, in a group with England. We'll talk about that soon. The Irish have got on the board, brilliant stuff, well done. Look at this one, 7-7-7. All of them could finish first with 2 matches to go. That is fantastic. Kazakhstan, despite being bottom, still showing some heart. And then this group was a bit topsy-turvy during the match. There was a point where Wales were top and Turkey was second on goal difference to Iceland. At one point when Iceland were beating Turkey and Wales were beating Montenegro, but then Turkey got the win, and so they're back top. So Iceland had a really good window and they prove to everyone how dangerous they are at home. So, and actually, we'll talk about that in a second, but I forgot that they beat England in the summer in Wembley. So they are a team with credentials. Okay, let's take a look at them then. So that's Tuesday. Okay, here we go. Austria beating Kazakhstan 4-0, not shocked at that. Austria had a really good window, didn't they? Baumgartner, Lienhardt, Sabitzer, brilliant player, Seidel with the goals. Then this one, of course, for George Baldock, the passing of a player who used to play for a long time in England, who has Greek ancestry, moved out to Greece, and then passed away, just found in his pool. So Greece didn't want to play the match in the first place, but then they said they would if they could wear black armbands. And I think they were already playing really well, but I think it sort of, I don't know, just lit a fire, and they just look unstoppable at the minute. So Bellingham scored, and I thought at that time it was very undeserved, because apparently, well, I watched the highlights, and Greece had the ball in the back of the net 5 times, and had it cleared off the line for the 6th. So Greece could have, if they weren't all offside, I think there were 3 offside goals, a 4th was cleared off the line, and they scored 2, so that's incredible. You know, the tactics were just awful, but obviously I've just talked about a new permanent manager in Thomas Tuchel. So well done to Greece. That's their first competitive loss at home in 4 years. Really difficult place to go. This Greek team look like a team hell-bent on getting up to Group A and qualifying for the next World Cup, and they're back from their big slump over the last sort of 8 to 10 years. I'm really, really happy to see that. Well done. And lovely result for Ireland. Brady, right at the end, scored with that fantastic shot of the roof of the net from the side of the... I was watching the match. I'm really happy for Ireland to finally get a win. They do deserve it. And I think it's testament, you know, if you keep going, if you keep pushing, then you'll get there. It's a sort of message to Scotland in their slump of form at the moment. And also we'll see Northern Ireland in a little bit who have got a similar experience as well. Really shocked at this result. 3-0 Norway against Slovenia. Slovenia usually do not ship goals at all, so 3, even 2 from Haaland and 1 from the brilliant Sørloth. I was really surprised that they conceded so many goals. Well done to Norway. And then Czechia turned it around, had a terrible window in September, but much, much better this time. So 2 goals from Hori, and they managed to not get caught on the counter-attack by Albania, who was so dangerous. My team Wales, again, our tactics work brilliantly in the first half, but because a lot of our players aren't playing regular football, in the second half we fade, and Iceland changed their tactics in the second half, went man-to-man, started pipping long balls over the top to break our tiring press, and they looked like they should have won, absolutely should have won, despite the fact that we were up 2-0 up within 29 minutes. So another fantastic performance from Wilson, from Nico Williams, who are our standout players at the minute, and yet neither are playing regularly in the Premier League, which is a bit of a shocker. I'm at that point now where it means more to me that players are playing every week, like Rodon and Ampadu are at Leeds, and Dan James as well when he's fit. So I would rather our Premier League players drop down if they can't get into their Premier League clubs and just play every week, because Wilson's absolutely world class, and he's played like, I think they said something like 7 minutes in the last month. It's unacceptable. He is, for us, he's absolutely world class. He can't be sat on a bench, not even getting any minutes at all, or coming on for the last 3 minutes of a match. It's just an insult. Well done to Iceland. They looked really, really good. And I love Bellamy's comments. He said, we'll learn a lot from that mistake. So he wasn't upset, he wasn't angry. He was like, that's brilliant. Now we can coach about how to stay in the match and what to do in second halves. And he just seems to have a plan for everything. Such a mature response from someone I was quite worried about. Carveci scored for Turkey against Montenegro. Montenegro proving that they are difficult to break down, but Turkey did it anyway. Should have scored 3 goals by the looks of it. And then Ukraine beat Georgia, which is a really good result for them. Mudryk with the only goal, and despite being only 41% possession at home. So where do they play it? In Poland, in Poznan. Yeah, so really good for Mudryk, because obviously he's not having a great time club-wise. Slovenia just beat Kazakhstan with an absolute worldie from Laka. I watched a bit of this match. I thought Kazakhstan were good for the money, actually. They are difficult to beat at home, I'll be honest. Slovenia were lucky to leave with 3 points. England beat Finland away 3-1. Grealish, Alexander-Arnold and Rice then popping up for another goal. Finland are struggling at this level at the moment. And this one, wow. I did think this result was waiting, because Austria, because they got the high press, because they've got this ravenous attitude on the pitch, something that Wales are trying to emulate, they can get results like this, particularly when a team sort of half can't be bothered, you know. And I think Norway is showing those signs that sometimes they'll turn up, sometimes they won't. They need to have a bit more consistency. They've got lots of flair, lots of world-class talent in the team, but I just don't think they've got some of the basics right sometimes. If you're Norwegian, let me know if you agree or not. Marcel Sabitzer, a brilliant player, with the man of the match. And then, sorry for Ireland, but 2-0, really big mistake by the goalkeeper at the end, but it was already, to be honest, I thought Ireland were good for the draw. I thought there were times where I thought they were going to get it, and then a mistake at the end, so ignore that second goal. It was silly from Kevin Keller, passing out from the back, just passed straight to a Greek player who then rounded him and put it into an empty net. But that takes the shine off, really, what was a very dogged performance, so well done, Ireland. The counter-attack kings, Albania beating Georgia in Georgia, so Georgia had a terrible window. 2 losses when they were top of the group going into it. This match was so topsy-turvy. Oskarsson scoring first. It was 1-0 for quite some time until the 62nd minute when Carveci equalised. 2 goals in 2 matches for him. Then penalty from Çalhanoğlu. Then Gudjonsson, that's right, the son of Gudjonsson from Chelsea, scored the equaliser, so it's 2-2 at this point. And then Arda Güler and Atakolu scoring in 88th and 95th minutes to go back to the top of the group. So at one point, for about an hour, they were sitting precariously in second, maybe even in third. That's how close our group is. Ukraine, Czechia, Dovbyk with a penalty and Cherv with the opening goal for Czechia. So much better window for Czechia and Ukraine, actually. And then Wales beat Montenegro 1-0. Very soft penalty. Oh my god, it was such a dive from Wilson. But to be fair, I don't encourage that sort of diving or anything. But it was probably a penalty. But we don't seem to get lucky penalties. They get given against us. The referee was appalling. We always have terrible referees. Oh my god. It's the worst thing about being a lower ranked team. We just get given the worst referees. And yeah, I'm surprised we managed to finish with all our players on the pitch. To be fair, the Montenegrins were well behaved and they're just very physical, really tall, really muscular players, and we're all tiny, as we say in Wales. We're tiny little duts. We are little short people in Wales, and at 6 foot I'm like the tallest person in the country. And yeah, so Harry Wilson, just a man of the match performance. If you look at the highlights, he could have scored like a hat-trick in the first half. Nico Williams had another blinder. For me, the man of the match on the night went to Josh Sheehan, which is a bit of a shocker because he plays for Bolton, down a couple of divisions, but his passing was absolutely magnificent all game long. I was terrified when we started the match with Wilson as like a defensive midfielder, 2 strikers and 2 wingers. I thought, oh my god, we're going to be like beaten at home like we were against Armenia. They're just going to run through us. But no, with this high pressing, it was brilliant. Sheehan just sat back, did the whole Xavi role where he just like, oh, Iniesta, yeah, Xavi, passed it around. I'm not saying he's as good as Xavi, don't get me wrong. But Bolton Wanderers fans will understand what I mean. Just really class on the ball, kept it tight, kept it tidy, kept possession, really worked in this particular formation and tactic very, very well. Good to see Brooks back from injury. Good to see Harris getting a start. And he had a better game, Burns did, but I don't think he's really up to this level. I don't think he'll feature when we have Dan James, Rabi Matondo, who else is out there? Nathan Broadhead, who's coming back from injury as well. We have so many good options out on the wing. I don't envisage him keeping his role, but he stood in quite well, to be fair to him. Nico Williams, absolutely superb yet again. I thought Rodon had a good match as well. And lastly, I think Darlow, despite my reservations because he turned down trying to play for Wales twice, I think that what's his face is Danny Ward is a better shot stopper, but now we're playing out from the back with our feet. Danny Ward is making lots of mistakes and inviting pressure on us, whereas Darlow didn't make a single error with his passing from feet. So for that reason alone, I think that he's a better option for us at the second. See what your opinion is. Okay, and that is League B. Okay, we're going to fly through League C and D and get on to the World Cup qualifiers. So, Sweden and Slovakia, as I predicted, cannot be separated. Romania running away with it, as I thought. Northern Ireland, top of the group. What a turnaround. Brilliant window for them. Well done. And surprisingly, North Macedonia are now top of Group 4 by an absolute mile. I think they could almost afford to lose their last two games and still get it. So they're practically up. Quick look at results then. So here we go. North Macedonia beat Latvia 3-0. Armenia could only draw with the Faroe Islands. That's such a disappointing result for them. Estonia beat Azerbaijan. Another terrible result for Azerbaijan. Slovakia and Sweden could not be separated. 2-2 for them. I think number one spot in the group is going to go down to goal difference. Kosovo beat Lithuania, difficult place to go. Bulgaria could only draw with Luxembourg. They had a terrible window after starting so well. Belarus couldn't be broken down by Northern Ireland. And Romania beat Cyprus 3-0. Goals from Man, Marin and Dragoshin. And then North Macedonia went to Yerevan and beat Armenia 2-0. Big result for them. Latvia and Faroe Islands drawing in the group. 1-1. Azerbaijan losing again, this time to Slovakia at home 3-1. And Sweden beating Estonia 3-0. Gyökeres obviously on the score sheet. And then Belarus, despite having a really good window last time, could only draw with Luxembourg 1-1. Kosovo beat Cyprus 3-0. Romania again 2-1 at home. Sorry, 2-0 away to Lithuania. Lithuania narrowly losing both matches. And then an absolutely astonishing result. Who saw this coming? A Northern Ireland team that just couldn't score goals, scored 5. Own goal from Mitov, McGuinness with a late goal, and a hat-trick for Isaac Price. Who's he even play for? I don't even know who he is. Standard Liège, oh, fair play. Well done to him. Absolutely stunning result. Really, really chuffed. Putting them top of the group. And then Group D, the mighty Gibraltar is top of Group 1, and Moldova is drawing with Malta in Group 2 at the top, which I'm really shocked at. I thought Malta would be miles ahead. And the results were Moldova beating Andorra 2-0, Gibraltar beating San Marino 1-0, then drawing away to Liechtenstein. They'll be disappointed with that, and Malta beating Moldova with a penalty from Teuma, which really harmed Moldova's chances of automatic qualification backup. So well done to Malta. Okay, so that is all from the Nations League. Let's take a look then at some really important matches that are happening for the World Cup. So Argentina still top, Colombia chasing them in second, Uruguay And now Brazil on 16 points, third and fourth. Brazil had a much better window this time. Ecuador slipping slightly, but still doing quite well. Paraguay moving up the ranks. Bolivia getting into the playoff spots. That's forcing Venezuela, the only team to have never qualified from the CONMEBOL region. I really want them to get through. Bolivia have made it once, and Peru and Chile just having a torrid time. Okay, so main results over this window. Bolivia beating Colombia with 10 men. Hector Cuellar being sent off. But then Terceros with a goal, and Colombia just couldn't break them down. 65% possession, 20 shots, 9 on target. Couldn't get the goal, so massive result for Bolivia. They must be delighted. Ecuador, Paraguay 0-0. Venezuela with, yes, Rondon, yes, that's correct, Newcastle fans. And Otamendi, Man City fans, scoring the goals there. It's a good result for Venezuela. Chile nearly got a draw, but Enrique scoring on the 89th minute to get the win for Brazil, a team that up until this point had lost more than 50% of their matches in this qualifying campaign. Peru surprisingly beating Uruguay. Araujo on the 88th minute. That's Miguel Araujo, not Uruguay's Araujo. Good result for Peru. Colombia came back with a 4-0 win against Chile. Sanchez, Diaz, Duran and Sinisterra. Then Paraguay beat Venezuela. 2 goals from Sanabria. You recognise him in Serie A. Uruguay and Ecuador 0-0. So does that mean Uruguay haven't scored a single goal in this window? Neither of Ecuador, I think? No, Ecuador didn't either. And then 2 big results. Argentina beating Bolivia 6-0. God, what a come down. You beat Colombia and then you get hammered by Argentina. Mind you, Bolivia were at home in that, and they're the hardest place to go and play an away match because it's such a high pitch. Apparently the oxygen is just horrific up there. It's a really difficult place to go. And they kick the ball and it just goes for miles. They shoot from everywhere. But back down in Argentina, 6-0, Messi with a hat-trick. Martinez, Alvarez and Almada with the goals. And then to finish off, Brazil hammering Peru as well, back to form. So Rafinha, who's having a fantastic time at club level for Barcelona, 2 goals, 2 penalties. Pereira and Enrique again with the goals. Okay, so that is South America. Let's look at Asia. Some important matches happened there. So the table's much more teams from Asia qualify this time. So there are 3 groups. The top 2 in each get automatic qualification. And then 3 and 4 in each group go into a playoff format. So Iran and Uzbekistan, I said when I did that preview video of the World Cup that Uzbekistan, it's their best chance ever. They've never made it to a World Cup and they've always just missed out. So they're still unbeaten. And Qatar surprisingly down in 4th. South Korea top, Jordan in 2nd. Could they make it to another World Cup? I haven't seen Jordan play in a World Cup in my lifetime. Have they ever qualified? I think they have qualified. Iraq could also make it. And then you've got Japan, Australia. This group is really tight. Australia, Saudi Arabia and, surprisingly, Bahrain, all with 5 points. Australia had started really slowly, and I watched the match between Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, and Bahrain did really well, getting a 0-0 draw out in Saudi Arabia against their neighbours. Bad result for Indonesia as well. We'll look at that in a second. So, on the 10th of October, Australia beat China 3-0. Goals from Miller Goodwin, who plays in Saudi Arabia, is a good player, and Vilupilay against Xie for China. So that's their first win, I think, of the competition. South Korea won away at Jordan. Lee and Oh with the goals, 2-0. Uzbekistan managed to get a draw with 10-man Iran. Iran, one of the strongest teams in the division, so not just in their group, but in the whole continent. So that's an excellent result for Uzbekistan. Bahrain drew with Indonesia, 99th minute equaliser, so Indonesia had a really bad window. If you don't know, Indonesia have sort of called up anyone like Wales who has ever eaten a nasi goreng. I think some of their team is absolutely hysterical. We've got Jordi Amat, who used to play, Spanish-born, used to play for Swansea. I think he's got an Indonesian grandmother, so he qualifies. He's out playing there at the moment as well. And then practically everyone else is Dutch. So Struik playing in Australia. You got I went through all the players the other day just to see if I could find someone playing for Nijmegen. There are quite a few local. Jong Utrecht, Walsh, Sandy Walsh, Mechelen, Belgium. So yeah, they've got their overseas contingent. So they're really hoping to get much higher up the table, but had a really awful window, bless them. Oman beating Kuwait 4-0. Qatar beating Kyrgyzstan 3-1. Goals from Ali, Kozubayev on goal, and Al Hassan. And then UAE could only muster a draw with North Korea, got highly criticised by their manager, Paulo Bento. And Iraq beating Palestine 1-0, Hussein with a goal. And then Japan winning in Saudi Arabia 2-0, Kamada and Ogawa. Which is important, I'll come back to that in a second. So then the Aussies, the Socceroos, drawing with Japan away. Big result, not easy. Look, no one really gets results in Japan, so that's a fantastic result. 2 own goals, one from Burgess and one from Taniguchi. So much better window for the Aussies. South Korea narrowly beating Iraq. 2 different O's, O and O, and then Lee with the goals. Despite a 95th minute goal from Iraq. Not enough to get a result. And then this one, 2-1. So you're probably thinking, okay, so Indonesia went to China. China are not the team. They're not a very good team at the moment, to be honest with you. They're really struggling, so that in itself is negative. But if you look at the stats, 76% possession in China, 14 shots to 5. They never should have lost that match. Absolutely shocking. Really gutted for them. And then Kyrgyzstan beating North Korea 1-0. Uzbekistan beating a 10-man UAE. I watched this match. Penalty from Shukurov. I think the penalty was a bit generous. Was it the penalty or the red card? I think maybe both. I think the red card again was to the letter of the law. It was a bit. I think UAE did enough to get the draw. The shots weren't on target. 24 shots, but only 4 on target. I thought that UAE were doing well in the counter-attack, but really chuffed because obviously Uzbekistan a step closer to finally making it to a World Cup. Iran hammering Qatar, surprisingly. 2 goals from Azmoun and 2 from Mohebi. Jordan beating Oman 4-0. Palestine drawing with Kuwait 2-0. And then this one at the end, Saudi Arabia 0, Bahrain 0. To be fair, Saudi Arabia were all over their close neighbours. 67% possession, 13 shots on goal. They had a penalties. Oh, it's not put down here. Did they have a penalty saved as well? They couldn't have that. Maybe I'm getting mixed up with something else. But basically, they cut to the crowd at the end of the match, and someone was holding their phone up. They had a text on their phone, like in bright letters, like a PDF open, saying sack, because their manager is the Italian, isn't it? What's his face? Line up. Roberto Mancini. So they're saying sack Mancini, so they're not happy. They're in languishing in third place. This window they lost and drew at home. They had 2 home matches. And they got 1 point against Bahrain. And yeah, that's, it's not good enough. So although the commentator was saying that now they've had this influx of foreign talent in the Saudi Arabian League, a lot of their players aren't actually playing kind of like what's happening with the Welsh players. They're just not playing very often, and they were saying, oh, this one's had 7 minutes this season, this one's not played at all. So it's actually had a really negative effect on the national team, which is an interesting byproduct of, you know, the riches that they've spent on Benzema and Neymar and everyone going to that league. Okay, and let's very, very, very quickly go to the Concacaf Nations League. So a couple of matches over the weekend and actually early hours of this morning. So we saw quite a few teams taking part. Some highlights from those matches would be Jamaica winning away to Nicaragua 2-0. Costa Rica drawing with Suriname 1-1. Haiti had a good time, 3-1 winners there. Dominican Republic 5-0 against Antigua and Barbuda. Bermuda beating Dominica 6-0. And Puerto Rico beating St. Martin 2-1. Haiti again winning against Aruba 5-3. St. Martin beating St. Lucia 4-0. And Dominican Republic beating Antigua 5-0. Trinidad beating Cuba 3-1. And we've got the tables here. So Costa Rica at top, Suriname second, and then Jamaica and Honduras are in the driving spots in Group 2. However, where are Canada, Mexico and the USA? So this doesn't qualify for the World Cup, so why aren't they in it? If they qualify, these teams, do they go to meet those teams in the next round? I'd be really interested to know. Just Panama amongst them, is it? So I'm thinking Honduras, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Costa Rica. So I'm thinking Panama, USA, Canada and Mexico must be in the next knockout round section. I feel like that must be what's happening here. Let me know though. Because they must be in it. Let's have a quick look. What does he do in the match? Fixtures. Yeah, they look as if they get to a part where they go into a knockout and those teams are there. Cool, I think I'm right. Okay, thanks so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, do me a favour, click like. And if you are new to the channel, click subscribe. If you love what I do, then maybe join me on Patreon, info in the box below. And also write me a comment, let me know if you're happy or really upset with how your nation did this week. And I didn't get around to doing the African countries, sorry about that. Maybe I'll try and include them next time. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Take care and see you soon. Bye 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 bye.